There's a thought most people never dare to think, a thought so unsettling that even philosophers warn people not to hold it for too long. If you're hearing this, you're already closer to it than most will ever come. I'll reveal the deepest part of it at the end, but to understand why it hits certain minds harder, you need to know how the mind gets there. How it starts. The idea is simple and quietly terrifying. What if nothing exists but you? Not the world, not the people you love, just you, inside something that behaves like reality. If that line made something in you react, your mind is already capable of stepping into this territory. The first crack in reality. It begins subtly. You look around, and something feels off. People move on autopilot. Conversations feel scripted. Life feels less real, more like something you're observing from outside yourself. That's derealization. The moment the brain temporarily stops recognizing the world as fully real. For most people, it fades. For others, it becomes a doorway into deeper, stranger questions. Why some minds obsess over this idea? Solipsistic thinking doesn't come from ego. It comes from over-awareness. People who fall into it often notice patterns others ignore, question everything, overthink to the point of exhaustion, live with anxiety or dissociation, feel detached or dreamlike during stress. When the world feels inconsistent or hollow, your mind searches for a model that fits, and then the questions appear. How do I know anyone else is conscious? What if none of this is real? What if everything is inside my perception? These aren't philosophy. They're the brain trying to create stability in uncertainty. The possibility people avoid. Here's the part most never say aloud. If solipsism is true, you are fundamentally alone. Every person you've met could be your mind speaking from another angle. Every memory, every relationship could be you interacting with yourself. And if the world were an illusion, it would hide its own proof. A perfect illusion never leaves evidence behind. That's why this thought sticks. It feels possible, even if it isn't provable. Why your mind creates this state. The brain hates ambiguity. It prefers a frightening explanation over no explanation at all. When reality feels unreal, or when life stops matching your expectations, your mind looks inward. Instead of, I exist in the world, it becomes, the world exists in me. Not because it's comforting, but because it explains your sensitivity, your alienation, your dreamlike perception, your sense that something is off even when everything looks normal. Solipsism becomes a container for feelings you've never had a name for. The paradox that traps you. If nothing exists but you, why does your mind disagree with itself? Why create people who challenge you? Why create pain? Why build a world that can hurt the only conscious being inside it? And here's the deeper paradox. If you're the only mind, why do you have more than one voice inside your head? Who is asking the question and who is answering? Even in isolation, you are never truly one. The truth most people miss. Here's the thought I promised at the beginning. What if solipsism isn't a belief, but a temporary psychological state the mind enters when an old version of you is dissolving? Not delusion, not awakening, a transition, a mental identity shutting down so a new one can form. You're not losing reality, you're updating it. How to ground yourself. If this thought scares you, that's good. Fear means you're still anchored. Here's what brings you back. 1. Physical grounding. Touch something cold, look around, name 5 real objects. 2. Social mirroring. Talk to someone. Hearing a real voice stabilizes you. 3. Move your body. Solipsism grows in stillness. 4. Accept uncertainty. You don't need a perfect explanation to feel real. You think too deeply for this world. That's not a curse. It's a mind that no longer fits where it used to stand. If this pressed on something in you, if it left you strangely calm and unsettled at the same time, tell me in the comments, did this feel like clarity or like a warning? Because sometimes, when you finally see the truth, it doesn't feel like light. It feels like standing on the edge of something that could change your life forever.